I'm Mary Jane Mapes, author, professional speaker, and executive coach. For over 25 years, I've been helping people just like you learn to speak like a pro. And today, I'd like to help you too. But first, a question for you. Are you someone who wants to get your message out there, either in meetings or at networking events, but you lack the confidence? Maybe you're afraid that you won't come across clearly and succinctly, or you're afraid you'll ramble, or worse yet, you're afraid you'll get your message scrambled up. Well, you know what? I have the answer for you today, and it's going to provide you with an easy-peasy format that's easy to remember, and better yet, it's going to make it easier for your listener to remember what you have to say too. And in the process, you're going to gain in confidence as you become more influential. Sound good? Great. Whenever you have to speak impromptu, whether it is at a meeting or networking or anywhere for that matter, I want you to think of using this formula for a short talk to convince. It's called the PREP formula. PREP is an acronym, and each letter stands for what's needed. The P stands for the point, and this is the point you wish to make. Now, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. Here's a point. Because people buy for their reasons and not ours, it's important to actively listen to what they tell us. The R stands for the reason or the reasons you have for holding that point of view or idea. So here's my reason. When we actively listen to people, they feel safe in our presence. And when they feel safe with us, they're more apt to trust us. And when they trust us, they feel even safer to share at a deeper level. And it's in that sharing that we discover the real reasons for buying what we're selling. The E stands for example, an example that supports what you've just said. For my example, I'll use a story. Several years ago, a consultant in the field of philanthropy shared with me an example of a time when she listened deeply to a potential donor and how it paid off handsomely for her. She said that she'd been asked by a university president to accompany him to the home of a prospective donor, a woman who had told him that she had this large sum of money, she wanted to donate it to the university. Well, he'd met with that woman on several occasions, but he had always come away empty-handed, and he was baffled by her behavior. So he said to Kristen, "Why don't you accompany me on my next visit, and maybe you can give me some insight?" Kristen said we had no more than entered the woman's home and sat down when she started telling us about her sister who had taught piano at the university and who had recently died. Then, as if on cue, the university president attempted to change the subject. Well, Kristen gently redirected it back to the woman's sister by saying, "Before we move on, I'd like to know what happened to your sister." Well, according to Kristen, the woman's sister had lived with an abusive husband for over 20 years, and in spite of numerous attempts to get her sister to leave him, she always returned only to suffer further abuse. Kristen said, "I listened closely to the woman who talked about how her sister's happiest times were when she was playing the piano or teaching at the university. Kristen empathized with the woman's pain and agony, with her feelings of helplessness at getting her sister out of a bad situation, and the despair she felt every time her attempts ended in failure. Only when Kristen sensed that the woman felt completely understood did she gently step in and offer a suggestion. She simply said to the women, 'Perhaps a music scholarship in your sister's name would be the perfect fit for your gift to the university.' The woman practically leaped from her chair. 'Oh, that would be perfect,' she said. 'My sister would love that.' She disappeared into the back room and came out minutes later with the first of what would be several checks made out to the university for $100,000. Well, when Karen and the university president left the donor's home that day, the president confided, "She's tried to tell me that story every time I've been there, but I'm not comfortable with emotions, so every time I change the subject. And all this time, I've been trying to convince her to give to biological research." The P stands for a reiteration of your original point. Here it is. People buy for their reasons, not ours. So when we listen to people, we discover their motivation for the prospect or the donor or the audience to be persuaded to do what we want them to do because they see the value to them in doing it. Listening with both the head and the heart is fundamental to selling anything. That's the PrEP formula. The next time you go to a meeting and you get asked for your point of view, stop. Wait a moment to think. Ask yourself, wait a minute, what's my point? Ask yourself, why do I say that? Ask yourself, what example can I use to illustrate that point? And then reiterate the point. It's quick, it's easy, and it keeps you on track. Now, if you like this and you'd like to know more about learning to speak like a pro, then just let me know, because I'd be happy to alert you when my next course is ready to be offered. Just go to my website, maryjanemapes.com, click on the Contact tab, and fill in the submission form. Give me your name, your email address, and just send a message, I'm interested, then click send. If you put the PrEP formula into practice again and again, it will become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, I guarantee you'll be on the path to speaking like a pro.